Alright, so been having problems with frankenhoe here. When I start the motor up, pump starts to build pressure, kills the motor. That tells me the pump's going into, it's binding up. Basically, it's a hydraulic lock is what's happening. So I know a little bit about hydraulics. I've messed with quite a bit of it. Anyway, what I figured out is it's got a closed center on the hydraulic valve that controls everything. Closed center basically is when all the joysticks are all in the neutral position, there's no flow going through the valve. So the solution to that is I either have to convert this to an open center to let the pump flow through the valve, or I have to have a pump that has a built-in relief in it, or I have to have an inline hydraulic pressure relief valve. They're $100. Not something I really want to spend, Old lady's down in she's out vacation with a friend, so kind of money goes there. Anyway, so y'all know me. I don't really throw a whole lot of shit away. I've had this valve assembly for probably 15 years, and it's done nothing. It's done nothing but lay around. It's not completely froze up, but it's done nothing but lay around. Absolutely nothing. I've packed it from when I lived up in Richmond, up at Hardin. I've packed it from there down here over to this place. Anyway, so what I have in my pump, or my valve, my control valve for the frankenhoe is it's got this here, and this here, and I'm pretty sure this one is the one I need to change over. This is a solid block. There's no relief to it. Just so happened to pull this relief valve, adjustable relief valve, probably adjustable from 1,000 to 3,000 psi. Now I don't know if this some bitch is any good or not. I'm sure it needs to come apart and get a cleaning. But look at that. Now if that son of a bitch is not the right thing, it's pretty close. So we're gonna find out. I'm gonna tear it apart, clean it, all that stuff. It just goes to show I might use that son of a bitch one of these days. I've only had it since about 04, 05. Actually, it came off of a railroad truck, and the reason why we took it off is because it was leaking, if I remember right. Oh, here it is. It was leaking out of this. There's a ball bearing that's pressed in there and peened in. It was actually leaking from there, but the valves all still worked. Well, they don't fuck around. They just go ahead and fix stuff, sometimes. I'm not going to say that's all the time, but most of the time they're just like, put a new valve on it. And of course, being the shop I worked at, he didn't want to just, tear it apart and do all that stuff, because anyway, liabilities and all that stuff. So anyhow, we put a new valve on it, no big deal. Of course, it went in the junk pile, and it went in my truck, went home. So again, goes back to, hey, I might use that shit one of these days. So we'll see when I get it cleaned up, put back in the frankenhoe, and see if the son of a bitch will actually operate. So we shall see.